Hey you guys. So today I wanted to do a bit of a conversation around managing life's chaos and business at the same time, because I know sometimes it can feel like, how am I meant to run a business and deal with all the chaotic stuff that's happening in my life at the moment? And it's really interesting actually. Like, I've had a few conversations with clients at the moment. I feel like actually it's interesting. I was talking to some girlfriends last night and one of my friends was like, do you guys feel like there's something happening with the moon or something like that? Like, it seems like there's a whole heap of shit going on at the moment where it just feels like everybody's life at the moment just feels a bit chaotic. And I was like, it was just an interesting conversation that I thought, I'd bring up, and it kind of felt very fitting actually, because this morning we just found out that my husband's grandfather is, only hours away from passing. So it's kind of meant that we've had to cancel everything and just, jump on a plane and get up and go pretty much tomorrow. So, it feels a bit chaotic, right? And of course, like, I'm like 30 weeks pregnant and we were at the late night doctors last night because baby's sitting on a nerve and all the things are happening, right? And I share that with you guys because, like, it's easy to kind of go, oh fuck, my life is so chaotic right now. Like, how am I going to do business and how am I going to do, showing up in the same way and in the same energy and that sort of thing. And I truly do believe, and this is the conversation that I was having with some girlfriends last night who are also coaches, I truly do believe that it is the level of self-trust that we have in ourselves that determines how well we handle these situations. So it's your ability to kind of be like, shit's happening, but it's not the end of the world. Like, I know I can manage this. I know I can handle this, because if you look at it, guys, you kind of don't have a fucking choice. Like, sometimes you just have to do it, sometimes it's like life is happening and business is happening too, right? And so you just figure it out. But I think sometimes what we can do is we can just go, oh, it just feels so overwhelming, blah, 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 blah. And so we just want to shut down. We just want to go, oh, I just can't deal with one, so I'm not going to do that. And I want you guys to kind of think of it like this. This is the metaphor that I've used before with clients, is like, if you had a child, right? Like, just say you had, your own baby or child or whatever it is, and something else happened outside of that child. You're not just going to be like, well, I stopped being a parent now because, that thing over there is happening. You can't, right? Because that baby, that child needs you, so you almost have to just like push through that thing and just go and get it done and just make it happen. And I think a business is like that. Like, we kind of need to see our business like our baby, whereby we can't just go, okay, well, I can't do this today, so I'm not going to be a parent. I can't, do this today, so I'm not going to be a business owner. It just doesn't work that way. We have to treat our businesses in the same way that we would, parenthood or a job even. It's kind of like if you've had a business for a while and you've successfully run that business, you'll know this, and you'll know this to be true, kind of thing. But if you're just starting out in business, and I know that this is certainly what I used to do when I first started out in business, I would just be like, oh, well, business will just have to go to the side now. But the thing is, I would never do that with my day job, like ever. I would show up to my day job. So why would I show up to my day job regardless and not do that for my business? Or why would I show up as a parent but then not do that in my business? And, I think it's really, really important for us to acknowledge this and to recognize this and to see business as that same priority, because the things that matter to you will be a priority. And it's really kind of down to, it's down to a couple of things. Like I said, one of them is actually seeing your business like your baby, and not just walking out on it just because it's a tough day and you've got other shit going on. The other thing is as well is it is that level of self-trust. So what I mean by self-trust is, like, when you really feel like you trust yourself, you will back yourself 100% to kind of be like, you know what, there's all of these things going on, but I can do this and I can do that, and I can just manage both. And there's almost this calmness that washes over you of like, there's no point getting stressed. And anything more or anything less than that, any like kind of, oh, I'm getting stressed, I'm freaking out, all the rest of it is really just playing out that drama cycle. It's playing out that, oh, I get to be in chaos. I get to be in, you know, freak out mode. I get to, you know, whinge and complain to people about all the stuff that's going on in my life and all the rest of it. And yeah, you may have some major shit going on, fair enough. But at the same time, like, does it have to be as big a deal as what we're making it? Like, really? And, you know, what I learnt by doing this is that my life actually got a lot more relaxed and a lot more calm, and I was a lot more happier as a person when I was actually able to take on board that it didn't have to be chaotic, it didn't have to be dramatic, it didn't have to be this like, oh my god, guess what happened to me, blah blah blah, because all it was doing was feeding my significance tank, feeding my connection tank, and making me feel like, you know, people got to feel sorry for me, and that I got to, you know, like there was some sort of sympathy in that, right? And I think we've all kind of been there, but it's not really functional, it doesn't really help us, because the same problems are still sitting there, they're not going anywhere, you know? So I really do believe that, like, when we can kind of get to this space of like, okay, you know, let's just compartmentalize these things for a minute and just like, let's take a step back, look at it calmly, what have we got to do here? It really does give you a lot more energy for other things, you know, because that's the thing as well, is like when you're feeding into the drama cycle, then you're feeding into all of your energy is going into the drama of the thing, rather than just, you know, finding a plan, making something happen kind of thing. And that doesn't mean you can't have emotion around it. Like, that's not what I'm saying here. I want to be really, really clear on that. But sometimes there's a time for having the emotion around the thing, and sometimes there's not. And sometimes it's like, you know, if I look at like for, you know, today, for example, you know, having this news that's kind of happened this morning, it makes me so sad to see my husband sad. It really does. Like, I find that really, really challenging. You know, I want to wrap him up in cotton wool and just give him a big hug. But at the same time, I've got a business to run too, you know, and so, you know, there's things like this class that I run every single Wednesday at 2 o'clock, you know, and so that had to happen. Yes, I was, you know, 7 minutes late, but so be it. You know, it still happened. You know, and there were things that I had to like shift around and that sort of thing for us to be able to go, you know, up for the funeral and that sort of thing. But, you know, it was not a moment to freak out about those things. It was like, okay, cool. What do I need to do? You know, sat down, wrote down my list of things that I need to shuffle around and how I was going to do it, all the rest of it, went and got it done. Now I'm here doing this live with you guys. Next thing on my list is to get back to some clients on some messages and emails and that sort of thing. You know, you just do what you have to do. And yeah, there are emotions there, but I'll deal with them later. You know what I mean? Like, they're there, but right now, like actually feeding into them and feeding into the drama of that, it's not going to help me, you know? And so that's what I want to share with you guys in terms of like being able to sometimes just compartmentalize things, you know. And again, like if we use the same metaphor as like being a parent with a child, you know, sometimes you have to compartmentalize things as a parent, right? Like sometimes you have to actually sit there and go, okay, well, can't have, you know, even though this child's driving me nuts at the moment, can't have this breakdown moment in front of the child right now. Need to deal with situation A, and then I can go deal with my emotions around it later. It's kind of the same thing, guys. If you can use that metaphor when it comes to business, it'll be really helpful for you to manage your emotional state in moments where it's not actually, you know, where the level of appropriateness for you to actually feel into that thing is not there in that moment, you know, because there is levels of appropriateness when it comes to feeling emotions around things, you know, and sometimes it's like, is this the appropriate moment? No, it's not. Okay, cool. So what do I need to do to find the appropriate moment, you know, and allow myself to feel through that? So that was it, guys. Just a quick one. Thought it was very appropriate, not only for myself today, but you know, I just feel like I said at the start of this, you know, one of my friends said to me last night, like, what's going on with the moon or whatever, because everyone seems to just be up in the air and things are going on. And I kind of felt that too, because I've seen that a lot with my clients this week as well. Like, they've not just had little things going on, they've come to me with some really massive, big deal things. And, you know, just kind of feels like collectively a lot of people are going through a big shift at the moment. And so I think that this message is really needed, to know that you can do both. You get to make money, have a business, you know, life gets to keep on going and business gets to keep on going at the same time. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to park it there. Have a wonderful day.